Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews the movies and talks that nerd shit. Happy 2023 to everybody. And as always, it is an Nerd Chicano here to host the show alongside my wonderful co-host, Young Yoda.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first January 1st, 2023. We made it to another year.
Yep. And this is your review of Todd Field's Tar.
Tar. What a great movie to start the year off with.
This is a very late episode. This was actually supposed to be the last review of 2022. But I think Brad and I finally realized Christmas week. Yep. Christmas week until New Year's. Take that off.
We've been doing this for 7 years and it never works out any year. So we are just going to take those weeks off.
Nope. As much as we try, we cannot absolutely find time.
No, we literally, I was sitting here, I was waiting for Roll, and then shit just popped off over on his end.
When you think, like, it's just not possible, y'all. Like, my internet, I had family in one house, so I said, okay, let me go to the house in the back. Let's go to the trailer. And then, like, no, because your internet sucks ass over there, and you can't fucking use the internet there. And then I'm like, okay, well, there's so many people at my house.
Maybe we can get you like a Wi-Fi extender or something for that area. Might be an idea.
I don't know. I don't even live there anymore, Brad.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But Brad, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, bro.
Happy New Year,
I hope
Merry
you're doing
Christmas.
Well. If Kylie's in the chat, yes, this is pre-recorded. Kylie, I'm sorry.
It's okay, Kylie.
It's okay. You'll live. You'll live through
We're literally taking any chance we can get to record at this time.
Yeah.
Just so we can.
Yeah. See, if you see 3 episodes of the Nerdcore this week, I'm sorry. You saw 3 episodes.
I'm not sorry. It's what we do.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's it called? We got to play catch up a little bit. We got to finish up Años Verdad month. We have to give you all our top 10 of 2022. And of course, we have to, talk about Tar. But Brad, before we get into any of that, how are you, Brad? How were the week? How was the holidays? And yeah.
So past 3 days I've been pretty schnookered, pretty inebriated. Yeah. So I'm feeling a lot better today.
Yeah.
A lot less alcohol. I actually got a workout in. The cold that I've been having for like 2 weeks is finally like leaving. And so I've been able to like kind of go back into that whole mode of, okay, make my body feel better, because like I have been suffering for the past week at least.
I'm sorry to hear that, Brad.
No one's fault. I just got a cold and it was hard. It just would not leave. It's just like I think it's the longest cold I've ever had.
Dude, a cold during the holidays is not fun.
No, I mean, I tested. It wasn't COVID, so at least it wasn't COVID. Because you remember 2 years ago, I had COVID during the holidays. Yeah. And this was back when they basically quarantined you into your house and you didn't leave.
Yeah. Well, Brad, I'll tell you this. What's it called? We had a lot of food. We had a lot of no, we had planned for there to be a lot of people at our house. Let's go. We still had a good amount of people, but not as many to justify the amount of food we had.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of tamales this week. A lot.
Did you bring some home?
Wake up, eat tamales. Eat dinner, eat tamales. Next day, wake up, eat tamales. Time for dinner, tamales. I'm tired of tamales.
I mean, you can send some my way.
I would if I could, Brad. I really would. But I'm okay. I what's it called? I what's it called? Didn't what's it called? I don't get presents anymore because I'm a grown ass man, and in my family, once you graduate high school, that's it. You don't get gifts anymore.
I mean, I kind of get that. Yeah. I mean, yeah. We still send you gifts. Nice. We still send. You still get gifts from your friends.
Yeah, true. I got a 4K. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew.
I got Pulp Fiction from Rachel. I gifted myself this limited edition of Lux Eterna.
I mean, that's generally how my holidays go. Like I just tell Brenda, like, I'm just gonna buy myself shit. and that'll be my Christmas
Yeah.
present
Fuck it.
because I just do that anyway.
Yeah.
So literally just bought just a shit ton of these like Italian cookbooks. So that's like what I'm collecting now. Um,
Italian books.
yeah, but like my parents and stuff, like they'll give gifts, but it's mostly like it's not shit that's like fun or anything. It's like, oh, here's some clothes.
Yeah.
Here's some like pajamas or socks or stuff that like I
Hey,
probably
socks are
won't
still
buy for
cool though.
myself through the year, but it's stuff like I'll need.
Yeah.
So when you're a kid, you always hate to like, oh yeah, I got a fucking shirt or
Yeah.
socks. And now as a grown ass adult, I'm like, God, that fuck, I needed fucking socks.
Socks and underwear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I make it towards the end of the year, so it just re up, so I don't have to buy it during the year.
Yeah. So shall we get into this, Brad? Because I think we will be able to actually have a 25-minute conversation on this film.
I think we should be able to get that at least.
Yeah. It's been a while, but I'm pretty sure this movie's pretty fresh in your head.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So, my friends, without further ado, if you have not watched Tar, you should be able to watch it now. It's available on demand. You can rent it, you can buy it. Go and do that. But if you care about spoilers, then you should probably get out of here if you haven't seen it. If you don't care about them, you can stay, or you've probably already seen the film. I actually was able to watch the first screening of Tar in Texas, in Houston,
well,
Texas, where I may or may not live.
Houston,
Um,
Atlanta, Vegas.
yeah. So, without further ado, that is your spoiler warning, and it is in effect in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
God, it feels good to hear that sound again. On to a
Yeah.
new year, new review. Let's go, roll.
Yep. I'm slowly starting to realize that my Bluetooth is not the best connection, so I'm just hearing you kind of cut out sometimes.
It's okay.
I can still kind of get a gist of what you say,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's what happens when you leave your cord at the office. So
that's
let
why
me
you
go
need
ahead and
backup
read.
headphones.
This one should have a backup cord.
That's true. You probably just buy the cord.
My Astros, what's called, fucked up. Remember, they broke.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, just refused to work. So Tar, stylized as Tar, what's it called? In capital letters, is a 2022 psychological drama film written and directed by Todd Field and starring Kate Blanchett. The film follows the life and downfall of a renowned composer and conductor. The supporting cast includes Noemi Merlant. Brad, you may know her from Portrait of a Lady on Fire, who played not the girl, what's it called, who was being like, who was, what's it called, gonna get married, but
Mm-hmm.
her.
Yeah.
Nina Haas, Sophie Carr, Julian Glover, Alan Cordoner, and Mark Strong. It premiered at the 79th Venice International Film Festival in September 2022, where Blanchett won the Volpi Cup for Best Actress. It had a limited theatrical release in the United States on October 7, 2022, before a wide release on October 28th by Focus Features. It received acclaim from critics who lauded Blanchett's performance, Field's direction and screenplay, and its cinematography, editing, and sound design. Both the New York Film Critics Circle and Los Angeles Film Critics Associations named it their best film of 2022. Will the South Texas Film Critics Association name it their best film of 2022? We don't know. You'll have to find out this month. Wink, wink. Will the Nerdies call it the best film of 2022? You'll have to find out later this month. Wink, wink.
Tune in, subscribe, hit that notification bell.
Yeah. While it was also deemed one of the year's best of the American Film Institute at the 80th Golden Globe Awards, it received nominations for Best Motion Picture Drama, Best Screenplay, and Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama. Will they win those awards? You'll just have to tune in to this channel right here. Wink, wink. The film was named Best Picture of the Year by Vanity Fair, The Atlantic, Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, Entertainment Weekly, and IndieWire's annual poll of 165 critics worldwide. Despite the positive reviews, the film has grossed $5.6 million against a combined production and marketing budget of $35 million. Pre-release marketing for Tar, along with the use of real-life critics like Adam Gopnik in the film speaking on the central character as a real person, left the impression that the movie was a traditional biopic about an actual conductor and not a work of fiction.
Hmm. Hmm. Oops.
Cinematography is done by Florian Hofmeister. Um, I have no idea who's this. German cinematographer and director. Projects yes for okay. I do not know any of these. Edited by Monica Will. The music is done by Hildur Goldreiter, who did the score for Joker in 2019, and it sits at 2 hours and 38 minutes. And of course, it's made $5.6 million on a $35 million budget, so it's not a success. But as I've told Brad, as I told Brad, but I feel like this is definitely those award season films. Like these really don't matter if they make all that money. It's about what awards are going to pick up at the big ones. So, you know, that's where that money comes from. Brad,
Hmm.
I would like to get your thoughts first here. What are your initial thoughts on Tar?
First off, yeah, off a $35 million budget, and you're getting 5 million. This is definitely for the award shows,
Yeah, pretty much.
so that doesn't surprise me. Starting off with the good stuff, like I really enjoyed the acting in this. Like the acting is phenomenal in this. Most of the story is good. My one issue with this film is that first act is slow. It's slow building up, and then it gets into it because I think they just go full force into, hey, it's this, concerto and yada yada, and I'm just sitting there like I don't know what any of this is. And then it just ramps up into the rest of the story, which is like this woman's like horror film for herself that she's creating just because she's kind of a like megalomaniac or you know in that form she's a micromanager, and she like steps on people all the time. Like she's just not an overly great, I don't want to say person, but like boss, she's not a
Yeah,
good boss. And when you're not a good boss, shit's gonna bite you in the ass, especially if your employees like decide to like fuck you over. But this story by the end of it is really good. Like it is impressive. You do kind of feel that 2 hours and 38 minutes, especially in the beginning, but by the end of it, you're just like, that was impressive.
Brad, was I wrong or was I right about the what's it called the ending? Like that ending makes it all so worth it, Brad.
I mean, that ending's pretty hilarious in itself, especially when you realize, like, when it, like, because she gets up there, she goes to China and she's like just going to be conducting, try to get her life back together, and she's just sitting there with the students or her, I guess, concerto, and it pans over to everyone in these like just
Yeah,
cosplay suits, and it's like it
it
is
clicks in your head, and you're
yeah, it
like,
clicks in your head, and then you just die laughing, and you're like,
yeah,
well, she's probably still getting really paid really well for this, so she'll bounce back in that form, but it's definitely a long fall.
yeah,
My other favorite part of this is when she bum rushed that freaking the conductor, and this is my score, motherfucker. I'm like, damn, like that, like everyone at that show, whatever they paid was worth it.
oh yeah. Where she just like completely steps out and like what's it called? She trips, she falls, and like she tries to do it, and then they help her. And she's like,
But it starts out like she's hiding in the bathroom, and she gets down and she like bum rushes his ass, and it's just like, holy god. It's like,
yep,
and you did, if you thought your career, like her career, like could have bounced back before that, but after that, it was like, well, now you got to go to a different country.
yep. Um, I agree with Brad. Kate Blanchett's performance is incredible. I mean, look, y'all, what's it called? I am completely on the Michelle Yeoh train here. I think Michelle Yeoh is the best female performance of last year. She is incredible in everything, everywhere, all at once. That's why I want to win Best Actress. That's why I see winning Best Actress. But holy hell, man, is Blanchett on another level in this movie. Like, she is a commanding presence in this movie where she is giving her 110% into this role, and like she embodies Lydia Tarr to the point that you're like, is this a real person? Cuz
Well,
like this feels like
that's
a
what I
real
mean.
person.
Like it literally says people thought this was a biopic, and she goes all out into it, and it like, kind of feels like that.
Yeah. Uh, I really like Todd Field's like direction here, especially because like I think it's so interesting. Like obviously, I think we shouldn't be playing around the bush here. This is a film about power dynamics and like and to an extent cancel culture to an extent.
Hmm.
And
Especially the teaching that teaching room,
yeah,
because you can kind of see that going, like you saw where that whole scene was
yeah,
going, and you knew it was going to
such an
get there.
incredibly film scene, by the way. The way that
Yeah.
that whole thing is blocked is incredible. But what I really appreciate from Todd Field's script and his direction here is that the movie never tells you to take Lydia Tarr's side, but the movie also doesn't tell you to take the side of the victim.
Hmm.
It's kind of being like, this is what I'm presenting to you. These are what's happening. This is what's happening. You are the one to make your what's it called decision on what you think is happening. And I think that that's what even makes this movie better is that you're never like fed this idea of like who do you have to agree with. Like I don't think the movie cares about whether you agree with somebody. It's more like look at the fall from grace of this like renowned
and, and
composer.
and so how easy it can happen and how quickly it can happen.
Yeah,
And I mean, I love his little details where he's showing like your TikTok version of where they've just literally cut out
just cut
like
everything.
the
Yeah,
whole dialogue that she had with this student, which makes, it was really good dialogue. Like it made a lot of sense in ways. They just cut it just to make her look just
yeah.
completely shitty. And
And to be
I mean,
fair,
that's kind of what the internet does.
she was kind of being shit.
But she
Like
was
she was
trying to make a
completely,
point too.
yeah. She's trying to make a point, but she's kind of coming off a little bit of a bitch.
Yeah,
Like
but
trying to
but
once again show
but
her
that's the thing.
power like
Yeah, but
over
that's
the
the thing
students.
though. In the movie, she is a bitch. Like,
Yeah,
but do you get that just from culture saying she's a bitch? Because
yeah,
this is a very strong female character, and
yeah,
usually when that's around, like, but there are parts in this where you go, you shouldn't have done that. Like,
yeah,
there's parts like that student scene, like she's trying to teach a lesson. I don't think she goes full mode in that, but there's other stuff like,
yeah.
she
With the
basically
kid.
has someone that it, she's like teaching and should be taking part, and she just goes over her just to get someone else because she's afraid of how it's going to look.
Yeah,
Mostly because of bad behavior in the past from her.
yeah,
So I mean, she steps on a lot of people just to try and cover like what she's done, and
yeah,
we're never really told the full story of that. Like we get like little bits and pieces of what happened with a previous, I guess, student, and then you get the story of the student committing suicide, and then you get
yeah,
her in a dream sequence. Do we know if that's real or not? I don't know.
yeah. Which, by the way, y'all, we're not calling her a bitch to be disrespectful. What's it called? The student actually calls her a
Yeah,
bitch,
yeah, he
which is like
does. He literally walks out and goes, "Bitch." And it's
bitch.
like,
You goes, you have to be such a bitch.
but
But
she was making a good point of, and it's what we come into always is where do you draw the line? Where do you go with how do you separate the creator and the art? We
yeah,
run into that all the damn time.
and I
Like
mean like
there's
that.
directors who were just straight up assholes who we enjoy their movies.
Oh yeah, like Stanley Kubrick is a fucking asshole,
just
man.
just
I
asshole.
fucking love his movies, but like, and that's not the only example in this movie where Lydia Tarr is what's it called overstepping her power as a person and as a what's it called as a person here.
She has it multiple
The
times.
first example you actually get is with her kid when she finds out that one of her kids is like when her kid is being like bullied,
Mhm.
like she decides to go to the kid and like basically like
I
she
think she
threatens
threatened her.
her.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't get, which is it's great in that they don't give you the subtitles for it. You don't know what's happening, but you know she's speaking in German, and you know she's
Yeah.
telling that kid off.
Oh,
So whatever
you didn't
she
get
said had
subtitles,
an effect.
Brad? You didn't get subtitles.
I didn't get subtitles for that.
Oh, because in the movie, it actually tells her like God's gonna punish you or like something
Oh
like that.
shit!
Like she like tells her like in like if I can remember correctly, like God is going to strike you down, and you'll see that you're gonna regret ever messing with my
And
daughter
she's
or something
saying
like
that
that.
to like a 6 year old. But no, I didn't get the dialogue. I didn't get like any of the German
Yeah,
dialogue because it
yeah.
just didn't pop up.
Well, what's it called? We'll have to see how that works next time.
Mm,
Um, but that's just it's crazy to me. But and then like, but Lydia Tarr, of course, what's it called? She has a partner.
hmm
She's a, what's it called? And I like that she brings this up, like in that class scene where she's like, you think it was gonna be easy for me to come up? Like like she would calls herself a U-Haul lesbian.
hmm
Um, which by the way, Brad, if you don't know what a U-Haul lesbian is,
I do not.
it is a lesbian. This the lesbians that like what's it called? Move in with each other after like the first couple of weeks after of dating.
Oh, okay. Now I know. Learned something today.
So like she's like, yeah, and what's it called? I throughout this whole movie, which by the way, Nina Haas is great in this film too. I sit down and I'm there. I'm like, why is she staying with her? Why is this woman like going through all of these trials and tribulations of what Lydia Tarr is putting this woman through? Why is she still with her? And of course, it's like the power that she has over her. Like
Yeah.
it's more
When
beneficial
that's
for you to stay with me than me to stay with you.
yeah. I mean, and yeah, that's the well, that's what happens is it comes to a point where she falls from grace, and that's the chance she gets to fucking run with the
Yeah,
kid. Um, because again, it's another of those. It's just when you're in that kind of position, even if you know what's true of like I didn't do anything, like it's
yeah,
all perspective. It's all what's getting shown, and it's kind of, but it is like leading. Let's be real here. Lydia Tarr wanted to sleep with her celloist. Um,
yeah.
like
The
that was
whole
very
point.
apparent, and the wife
Yeah,
could see that. But
and I'm
like,
pretty
did she
sure the one who
technically do
committed
any?
suicide was one of her lovers too.
Yeah, did she technically do anything with her? No, but
No,
it's that whole perception of like you're very telling, especially when you're moving your first chair celloist and you're making them compete because you want to gain favor with this new celloist. And that's the thing is you just see this throughout the film of Lydia fucking over like any employees, any of her friends, her family. She just I don't know if she's knows what she's doing or she's just very that's just how she is.
she's good at manipulating.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good at manipulating the situation. I mean, to the point where that old man, Brad,
Yeah,
like
it's
she's
been
like
there for
telling
30
him
years or something.
to retire, and even he gets a sense of like, what the hell are you telling me? Like,
Yeah.
we're not even. And it's like, and then she's able to like reverse the situation and make it around her and be like, what are you talking? Like, are you like you're putting it on me? Like manipulating him to feel bad. And it's just she's really good at what she does, y'all. And like and to the point where it's like it's scary in a way, like how she's able to manipulate the situation. But I think that what's great is like, and I wish we would have gotten just a little more context here and a little bit of more time. But when she goes back home and she goes to her parents' house, and she's kind of like they kind of tell her like like you've changed and you become something way worse than what you are, and like and it's just like where that starts to like become a real thing. But I also really like when she goes to Asia, where everything really starts to sit in, Brad, like where it's like
Mhm.
I really fucked up, where she goes to to get a massage.
And it's
And she
one of
didn't
those
realize that it's a happy ending place.
yeah, it's a house of
Prostitution ring,
prostitution.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was just disgusted because first of all, I'm pretty sure a lot of those were young girls, like really young.
Well, and
And she,
then can you imagine just stepping in a room and being like number 5?
yeah,
Just just that whole and she literally just wanted like a massage.
yeah,
But that's it's kind of the culture in a lot of these areas.
yeah. But it's just also like the way that she, what's it called, um, that they're kind of lined up like an orchestra too. It's like even like
Yeah.
that's what I'm telling you. Like Todd Field's directing here is just fantastic. Like there's like if we're gonna go back to the scene where there's what's it called with a class scene. Um, I don't know if this was intentional, but I'm gonna go ahead and shout out the Misfit Pond. The Misfit Pond on YouTube did a great scene analysis of that scene, and he brings up from guy from the channel brings up when she sits down in front of the class, in front of that orchestra, the what's it called? The students lined up kind of make this like angelic figure of like wings,
Hmm.
and it kind of like that pattern kind of makes it look like like wings, as if like Lydia Tarr is like this angel and like the god that she kind of believes that she is, and like she's the savior of like orchestra music and stuff. And it's just I think about how great, how incredibly directed this movie is by Todd Field. The only thing, like I said, I agree with you, Brad. I think the pacing in the first act is really slow, and it's just like I think that when you're dealing with something like this, I know it's a slow burn, but like I feel like if you're gonna, I feel I much rather prefer the slow burn in the second act than I do in the first, because
Yeah,
you got
just
to
to
get
get
me
your
reeled in.
attention. Like your
Yeah,
attention is eventually gone in the second act, and it's kept. It's kept throughout the rest of the
yeah,
film. But it's that first act where it's like it was kind of a struggle for at least the first 20, 30 minutes of like kind of getting through. He's laying the foundation down,
yeah.
but just to get through that and actually get to where the actual story kind of starts, it was a little difficult.
Yeah.
I do like the dynamic he sets, and part of me's rooting for Lydia Tarr to fail, and then
Hmm.
another part of me is wanting her to succeed, and that's really difficult to do. To create a character so complex that you don't know what you want to happen to that character.
Yep.
Like I still want to see, because you know, did Lydia Tarr deserve that in some form? But the way it went down, not completely. She
No.
people were putting daggers in her back there, and they were skulking around and waiting for any opportunity to put her down. And so, yeah, do I want to see her come back? Yeah, put a sequel and make that bitch come back.
for some reason, for some reason, Red, I believe there's like a short film coming out that is in the Tar universe, and I just started thinking like, the fuck is the Tar like? Y'all are gonna make a universe out of these movies like. Tar's what's it called? Adventures of Tar in Asia as she
I n-
performs the next
I
Monster
need, but
Hunter.
here's what I need. I need Whiplash to be in the Target universe. I need
And it's
J.K.
just
Simmons and fucking Lydia Blanchett to eventually
Tar.
come to head to scare all their students ever.
Yup. Here's the thing, bro, is
Not
that
quite my
what
tempo, Lydia.
yeah, and by the way, it's not funny at all what these very very evil characters do.
No.
But like, you gotta be it's fucking wild. Like, imagine a double bill of Whiplash and Tar back to back. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to take the energy from both J.K. Simmons and Kate Blanchett in these movies back to back.
It'd be good though. If I had a
Yeah.
theater, I would do that.
Oh man, but a great movie. I love this movie, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and give my final verdict here. I'm gonna go ahead and give this an 8.5 out of 10. It's really good. I just wish that pacing worked better. Like I said, Brad. Like I told Brad, I prefer the slow burn to start in the second act, because I think that that's where you need to digest a lot of what's happening. When you're really starting this film, you need to pick up that pace so that way we can get into the story. Let the slow burn start at the second act so that way we can digest it, and then in the third act, that should just like let it finish up. And I think that that's this third act is fantastic. I
Oh yeah,
think it's freaking
with a great ending.
great
Like
ending.
it's a very unexpected. When you told me like, wait till the end, bro, and I'm like, it's a fucking concert, goddamn movie. Like, what's gonna
Monster
happen at the
Hunter,
end?
Brad. Monster Hunter freaking concert, which you can just see it like, because you see her, but you know deep down inside, Lydia Tarr is saying, I can't believe I'm fucking doing this shit right now. Like she
Yeah,
feels like she's so above
because
this, bro.
because you know her peak, and you know like the steps she took, and like how
She
she
was
had
at the
went and
top of her game.
micromanaged everything her whole entire life for her to be at the top. And then, just these few missteps and these few people scurrying around trying to take her down, and now she's in China, yeah, doing
Yeah.
Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Brad, it's not China, it's the Philippines. It says
The
here it was in
Philippines.
the Philippines. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought
But
it was China.
yeah,
It doesn't really tell you.
yeah. Apparently here it says it's Canadian orchestra in the Philippines. So,
Okay,
but yeah, crazy man. Oh man, man. So, Brad, what is your final verdict here?
I'm going to give this movie a solid 8 out of 10.
All right, Brad. All right. Um, we will see if Miss Kate Blanchett makes it through the Golden Nerdies nominations, but stay tuned for that. But this has been your review of Tar. I'm really happy that we finally got to talk about this film because this was one that I was very looking forward to Brad to watch. I said, Brad, you got to watch this because this is like I haven't watched a movie in a while where I just said, oh my god, that ending was completely worth it. Where like there's some endings where it's like, okay, you did a good job in wrapping it up and all. Like I'm pretty satisfied, but this was an ending where I was like, this is the one of the best things I've seen in a while now. Where it's like that this character absolutely despises what's happening in this ending right now.
Hmm. That's why I'm saying, like, I really like if they're
Yeah,
doing a short film or a sequel. I want to see her take take that massive, just internal fucking anger and come back better than ever. That's what I want.
yeah. Which, by the way, I
Like,
never
we
put up
thought
the
she was
spoilers.
bad before. Bring it.
I never put up the spoilers banner. I'm sorry, y'all.
They'll get over it.
It's the first day back. It's the first day
Yeah,
back. You
it's the
guys
first day of
gotta
the of the year, so
yeah.
y'all can
Y'all can
be
just bear
okay.
with us, right?
Y'all can live with it.
Yep. So, of course, y'all, thank you so much for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do leave a like on the video and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And when you're subscribing, click on that beautiful notification bell so that way you don't miss a single piece of content that comes to the channel. Of course, if you can, please go and check us out on all our social media. We're at thenerdcore.com for our website. We're on the nerdcore underscore on Twitter, soon to be just the nerdcore whenever Elon decides that he's going to go ahead and delete these inactive accounts. But of
Someday,
course,
hopefully.
you can go again and get access to this episode a day early before anybody else gets to listen to it by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/nerdcore and joining the $1 tier to get early access and a bunch of back catalog stuff. So go and check that out, y'all. Of course, we want to thank each and every one of you all for listening. If you're in the chat, thank you for chatting. And of course, I believe we still, what's it called? We're still acknowledging some of our legacy members here. So we want to thank Shane Brad, our executive producer.
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at thriftedil or go buy something from the Suppy God at Prison City Vintage in Illinois.
Thank you so much, Shane. I wish I would have been there to attend the New Year's Eve party, but also I'm glad I'm not there because it's probably freaking cold right now. So
And
I'm
you probably
good.
can't get a flight out, especially if you're on
Yeah,
Southwest.
yeah. All my brother's flights were canceled to go back to here. Yeah. Oh man, I'm sorry, y'all, if y'all had to go through that, but you know what, y'all, it's 2023. We're starting it off with this tar review, so we'll see you all later. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode. Check out our next episode. It's gonna be our top 10 films of 2022. From there, we're gonna go ahead and finish up with Agnes Varda month by looking at the final film, Jacob de Nantes, and then we're gonna be starting our new theme month here as we look at the films of Hong Kong filmmaker Wong Kar-wai. I'm excited, Brad. I'm excited. We got to watch the Grandmaster. Now I
Mm-hmm.
get to introduce Brad to Wong Kar-wai and have him watch some of his more famous works. So, without further ado, Brad, it's been a pleasure, and let's go ahead and send him out.
All right, Raul, thank you being host as always. Thank to all those, as this is a pre-recording. Thank to all those who will listen. Thank to all those who are going to be in the chat. We will not be here because, again, we're doing
Just
this
trying to
from the
catch up.
past.
Right.
So, thank you all. Thank to all our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. And to end this, I'm just going to say, New Year, same us. We're going to do what we always do. Let's get it, Roll. Young Yoda out.